What am I supposed to do? A potato. What am I going to do? What, a carrot and a cravat? A beetroot with a bra? Ridiculous. What am I supposed to do with a potato? Here you go, kids. How do we make a potato? Take some clay, make a potato. It's a potato. And how am I going to fill 20 minutes with that? What? No, you. Well, you do it then. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. No. No. What? Well, I've got to. Right. What? I'm going to come up with something, have I? Okay. Right. Brilliant. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you very much. Welcome to Community Clay Time. My name's Jim and I'll be your model maker for the next 20 minutes. And today's exciting build is the potato. The potato. So in the best traditions of television, here's one I made earlier. There we go. A potato in pants. So that's what we're going to be making today. Something a little bit more interesting than just a plain old potato. So thank you very much for my friend Kelly in New York State. I've risen to the challenge, hopefully, and hopefully you're going to enjoy making one of these as well. Now you could make one with skin on and a bit of mud like I have here, or you could go for a peeled potato. So I'm going to go for a nude potato to start off with, and then we can put some pants on him. So I'm going to have about 1.5 strips to make a good sized potato. So I'm going to take one strip and squash it up. So I've got a nice creamy potato colour here. So I'm going to roll it up, get it nice and warm, and you'll be thrilled to know, Kelly, this is also a particularly hard clay, and this one's going to take a little bit of warming up. So we're going to squash the clay. The warmer you get the clay, the softer it gets and the easier it is to work with. So sitting under the hot studio lights and rolling plasticine on a hot afternoon in April. Brilliant. So, all joking aside, when you're given a brief, sometimes it can be a little bit dismaying. It can be not very inspiring, but you can do exciting things with the least exciting object. You can mash him, you could make him into chips or fries. You could roasty him, Hasselback if you like, or you could just peel him like this. So I'm going to go for a nice skinned potato. So that is our potato shape. You could go for any type of potato you like. Perhaps it's a King Edward. Perhaps it's a Charlotte. Perhaps you've gone for a Maris Piper. Or even, as I say, a nice King Edward. Something like that is a good starting point. Now, I'm going to give him some hands or arms. So I've gone for 2 little sprouty arms there. So I'm going to use one of these strips from here. And you might not want to use all of it. You can decide how long you want your arms to be. So I'm going to snap that in half and use half of it. So we're going to warm the clay up a bit easier because this is smaller. And I know it's a potato. We're going to start with a little carrot. Most things start with a carrot. And if we make a little carrot shape like so, we can then start to push in the end like so, and then tease out a pair of kind of pinchery or pincery hands like so. And I'm going to keep them nice cartoon shapes, something like that, making sure I don't knock over my potato. You can make them lumpy and bumpy, you can put bits of mud on them and all sorts. You can make any colour. You could go for a red potato if you like, something like that. Or as I say, the pink fir apple potatoes have amazing shapes already and look like characters before you've even begun. So actually what you might want to do is just get a potato and put some funny eyes on it with plasticine, or a mouth and some eyebrows, and make your own make and do kind of potato character as well. A non-trademark potato character would be great. Lovely. So I've got 2 funny little arms, and I'm going to decide where I want those to go in a little bit. And we can make some legs as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay off, again another strip, and go in half again. In fact, what I'm going to do is quarter it. Now you could go for feet and legs, or you can go for socks and legs like that if you like. So actually what I'm going to do is quarter that and only use 2 of the quarters to make those short legs. So we're going to use cocktail sticks to hold his limbs on. And what I'm going to do this time is just roll it on the table and make some little sausage shapes for the legs. You could have knobbly knees if you wanted to. It's your potato. Give it as much personality as you dare. So again, try making them the same size, roughly like so. And I'm going to take a cocktail stick from my tin over here, my pot, and snap it in half. And I'm going to skewer that little sausage shape. And what I'm going to do is put it in the end, and then I'm going to twist it like a drill bit and give it a little gentle push, and it should kind of worm its way down the leg roughly in the middle. Now, that's not perfect by any means, but you can always re-roll along the way and hide the fact that it's gone a little bit askew, or redo it if you like. So there's one, and here's another. So sometimes you might be asked to make something that's not terribly inspiring, but you can turn it into a brilliant character. And that's why I was quite excited actually when the potato came out of the goldfish bowl. So hopefully you're going to make some amazing potatoes yourselves, a family of frites if you like. So we have some legs. I'm going to make some socks. So I've got some white clay, but again you could go for jazzy socks, stripy socks, spotty socks, anything you like. I'm going to take one of these strips off, and again I'm going to probably go for, we'll split it in half and we'll see how we go, and we'll see how much we use. So I'm going to make a slightly bigger sausage, maybe twice as long, a little bit fatter, actually about 1.5 times as long as the legs, and a bit fatter like so. And I'm going to square off the end on both, actually just the one end, so that's going to be the top of your socks. And I'm going to bend over the clay like so, and then I'm going to slightly flatten that end and give it a little bit of a heel and make a nice like sport sock. And this time I'm going to use my pencil and put that into the end, the top of the sock, and wiggle it around. And can you see it's made a nice hollow, and that is where the leg is going to sit. So it's going to actually sit inside the sock a little bit. And I'm going to do that again a second time, because you need 2 socks, or you could have one barefoot if you wanted to. So again, getting the clay nice and warm. And if you find you've got little bits of colour in there, which does happen, you can pick those out, or you can kind of knead it through and make a feature of it, or kind of blend it all into one colour. So again, taking that slightly fatter sausage and then bending it over into an L shape. Choose which end you want the toes to be, and then flatten the end where you want the top of the legs to be. Give it a little bit of a heel, and again we're going to take the potato, the pencil. In fact, this is not a potato disguised, it's a pencil. Take it like so, open it up, and then we're going to add some sock detail. So I'm going to use my cocktail stick. I'm going to push around the top and make a rim, which will be the top of the sock. I don't know if you can see that. And then I'm going to put some ribbing across the top, give it a proper kind of sports sock look to it. And then I might put a bit of toe detail on as well, and put a little line across the front like so as well. You could even put one on the heel if you're feeling really fancy. So the potato was quite quick, so let's put a bit of heel on there as well. And you could put different coloured heels and toes on your socks as well. So there's one. We'll do the same again. Here we go. So you could make lots of little potatoes, one big potato, a whole family of spuds you like, and put a heel on again. So I've just made a toe detail, and I'm just using the cocktail stick as a sculpting tool to make a line on there and make a fantastic pair of socks. So not forgetting the ribbing on this one as well. We want ribbing detail all the way around, so you can spend a bit more time doing this than I am. Just doing it very quickly to demonstrate. And what we're going to do is take each leg, pointed end is probably best, and if you have it slightly tapered, then it should hopefully fit into the sock. And we have these amazingly funny little legs like like so. So I'm going to do a second one and pop that on. We've got a little bit of stick poking out, and that is going to go on the bottom of our potato. But before I set arms or anything else, we're going to make some pants. So I'm going to go for a red pair of pants this time. Now I think Y fronts are probably the funniest of all the pants. So I've got a piece of clay like this. I'm going to take about half of this, I reckon, is all we'll need. But we'll see, and I'll snap that in half. And I'm going to flatten it out, so I'm warming it up. And getting as warm as you can. As I say, the warmer it is, the softer it gets, the easier it is to work with. And I'm going to make a kind of ball shape or a lozenge shape like so, and then flatten it. So squish it flat. And what I want is one edge to be nice and flat, to be the top of the pants, And you could make boxer shorts, you could make knickers, anything you like really. The funnier the better, so you could have spotty boxer shorts, but I think Y fronts are pretty hilarious, unless you have to wear them, in which case it's a very serious business and I don't want to fall out over it. So I'm going to make a straight edge by just pushing the clay on the table like so. Go as thin as you can. Really spend some time making it nice and thin, because we're going to wrap this around his body and his body. So we're going to do a second piece just to make sure we have enough. And then we're going to smooth it together and try and keep those lines nice and neat. So it's a bit like an egg cup is what we're kind of making. And we're going to cheat the leg holes on and that rim around the legs a bit later on in a nice simple technique as well. And when I've made characters before, I've made lots of characters which involve wearing underpants, and pants are still hilarious. Bums, farts and pants are still some of the best humour you can get. And you know, I'm in my 40s and I'm still dining out on fart stories and pants, hilarious pant tales. So go as thin as you can, and remember, run this onto the table, give it a nice smooth edge, and I'm going to take my potato and take my pant material, and I'm going to push that on 43. I'm going to push that onto the front of my potato, and I'm going to push it round like so. Try and make it nice and level. You don't want wonky pants. And then I'm going to wrap that around underneath, starting to spread that clay a little bit. Now you could use a wet wipe later on to smooth this over, or warm hands. As I say, you could use a hairdryer, but I think mostly you can do it with your hands. And if it's a nice warm day like today, you could even do this outside and it would keep it extra warm and make it super easy to spread. So I'm happy that we've probably got enough clay. We're about halfway round our potato. And I'll use the other half, and I might not need all of it. So I'm going to lay it on like so, a little bit of an overlap, which I can then spread into. And then I'm going to lay the pants material across the back, and I'm going to tear it off roughly, very roughly, where it fits. Now there's a bit of a bare bottom for our potato at the moment, but I'm not going to worry too much. Also, if the little edge on it is a bit uneven, then what you can do is cover it up with the white line as well, or use a cocktail stick and then work your way along and make sure it's all nicely, neatly put together. I'm not going to worry too much at this stage. I'm more worried about covering his bare bum with some pants. Okay, nearly done. As I say, you can be a bit neater with this than I am, but smoothing it around like so. And we've got a nice pair of red pants. Loving this so far. See, here we go. I didn't want to give away what I was doing too much in the post earlier. So there we have a nice pair of red pants ready for the Y. And the Y, you might want to give your hands a little bit of a wipe. I'm going to use a wet wipe just to get the red off. If you've got a strong colour like that, it might come off on the other, and you don't want to have kind of pinky white Ys. So I'm going to take one of these strips, and I won't need all of it, so I'll probably use about half, I would have thought, but we'll see how we get on. So I'm going to move these bits to one side. If there's anything spare, just move it to one side. I might do a little video about what to do with your spare little bits of clay as well, that are bits that are left over, and you end up with kind of messy bits of clay, how to reuse those and turn them into something else as well. So I might do that as a little bonus one later in the week or next week. So if you've got anything, any smart suggestions like Kelly had for what to make, and you'd like to know how to make it, then please do send them in to @Jim Parkyn, that's Jim, and that Parkyn is Parkyn. Slightly unusual spelling, so you'll find me at Jim Parkyn, and you'll find me on Facebook as well, and on my fabulous YouTube channel as well. So please do subscribe, that'd be lovely. So I'm taking this long lace, and I'm going to take my thumb and finger and work my way along and flatten it into a nice, hopefully even ribbon. And this is going to make the waistband and also the Y bits as well, for the Y fronts. So if you're a fan of the Beano, Y fronts are often in there. In fact, I used to be called Calamity James when I was little because my name is James, and I used to fall over a lot as well, so it's very accident prone. And there's a fantastic strip on Beano, the Beano comic, called Calamity James. So that was my namesake really for a long time. Also Quincy for a long time, but we'll talk about that another time. So I'm going to put the waistband on. So hopefully roughly equal parts around. So it's halfway round his front, a nice smooth line, and just push that white band around his back. And as you see, actually it does meet nicely in the middle. If you have an excess later on, that's absolutely fine. You can tear it or cut it. So you could use a knife or a sculpting tool, or just tear it like I have and then smooth it together. As I say, you can use proper tools, but often I think a cocktail stick will do that. Or as I say, you can use a simple mixing stick or a cocktail stick, and you can neaten those lines up if they've got a little bit wayward. So that is our waistband. So it's like Christmas pants at the moment. And we're going to add the Y. In fact, what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to add those leg loops. Now I'm going to cheat that a little bit by taking two small pieces of clay, about the size of a large pea or a small pea, depending on how big you want your leg loops to be. And I'm going to make a round ball like that. I'm going to squash it with my finger and make two round discs, and these are going to be the leg holes. And we're going to use a pencil to push into the middle of those once they're on. So try and make them the same size. I've not done terribly successfully there. That's better. So you just kind of offer them up. And I'm going to take those leg holes and work out where I want my legs to be. So I'm going to give them a nice wide gate. I'm going to push those on. And already that's looking pretty funny. So I'm going to take a pencil now, and I'm going to push the pencil into the middle of the leg hole, wiggle it around, and that is going to make a nice socket for our legs to sit in. So I'll do that again, poke the pencil in, wiggle it around, make a nice hoop for your legs to go into. Now I'm going to finish the Y off. So I'm going to start with the bottom piece that goes underneath. They're a very weird construction, Y fronts. And most children won't really know what they are unless they're in comics, because they're very old-fashioned pants. But being a child of the 70s and 80s, I was forced to wear these. So, popping on the bottom part of the Y shape, and then I'm going to use the longer piece and wrap that over the top. So I'm going to have that level with the top of the waistband, and it's going to come across the other leg. I might use a cocktail stick just to trim that little bit of clay to give me a neater finish, like so, and then I can sculpt that in, give it a little roll as well. You could even put stitching on if you wanted to get really into the detail, but I'm not too worried. I think simpler shapes, cartoony shapes is where it's at really. There we go. So something like that. Brilliant. So I'm starting to see the character coming now. So I can decide to put some armholes in. I'm going to put the arms right underneath, oh, right above, sorry, the waistband. So about halfway across the body, and then make a nice socket for one. Try and marry it up on the other side, like so. A little bit bigger. There we go. And you can soften those edges again with your fingers. And I'm going to pop an arm on, like so. And another arm on. And you could put them in whatever position you want, but I think like this they look particularly funny. It's like kind of, there we go. And a pair of legs. One leg on, like so. You could put a knobbly knee on as well, I say, if you want to. Pop the next one on, like so. And already looking hilarious. It looks like a little bit like an egg in knickers at the moment, but we can add some extra features that will now make it look a bit more like a potato. There we go. So this one is peeled, a peeled potato, remember? So we're going to make some eyes. So I'm going to choose where I want my eyes to go, and I'm going to go one big, one small. Like this sprouted eye, so I'm going to go for one largest one and one right over this side, but much, much smaller. So I might actually make that a good deal bigger. And again, get your fingers in there and soften those edges. It'll look much nicer. You could give your potato eyebrows as well in a contrast colour. So we need some little bits of white. So a very small ball of clay for the little eye, and obviously bigger piece of clay for the bigger eye. Pop those on. There's one. And roll another ball of clay. That might be a little big. I'm going to take some out. It's nice to have a little bit of space in the socket so you can see the eyeball. So actually I'll make that a little bit bigger. Just again, put the stick in and waggle it around. Like, you can always repair it as you go along. It doesn't really matter too much. It's only a cartoon. So there we go. 2 good eyes, looking great already. And that really changes the character. So the big eyes, small eyes will really change the character. Now, what do I want? I might go for blue eyes again. I quite like the blue eyes. Or should I go for black eyes? I'm going to go for black eyes actually this time. So I'm going to take a little bit of black. Classic cartoon look. And again, 2 small balls of clay. You can make one bigger than the other depending on the eye size. So slightly bigger one for the big eye. And put that ball of clay on and then just give it a squidge with your finger. Like so. And then again, I put that little hole in the middle. Do this backwards so you can see what I'm doing. High drama if it goes wrong. Doesn't really matter if it goes wrong. You can always take them out and put some new ones on. So we've got eyes, and I think we'll give them a face. Give them a smile as well. So what should we use? What should we use? I think I've got a bit of brown over here. Yeah, some pre-mixed brown that I used for my other potato. And I'm going to take a small piece of clay like that. You could go big if you like, and I'm going to roll it on the table. And I'm going to make a kind of thin bootlace or sausage, if you like so. And what you're going to do is take that piece of clay and you're going to try and join it up together. So use your fingers or use a tool. If you've got bigger fingers like me, you might be better off using a cocktail stick. And you can then smooth, if you roll the stick across, it'll help to smooth in the clay and make a nice smooth, almost like a clown's mouth. So we've used this for the lobsters and a few other characters as well. It's quite a useful tool. So make a nice loop, and then if you squidge it, gently squish it and bend it round, you can make it into a smile, or you could make it into a sad mouth. So smile that way, sad that way. And let's make him happy. So let's put it, I think, let's put it there. You could give it teeth as well if you like. Brilliant. I'm going to give him some eyebrows as well. I think that's quite a good thing to have. So I'm going to use a little bit more of that colour and make two little slugs, essentially, or little comma shapes. This is a little bit fiddly. So make them, you could give them a monobrow if you wish. There's one eyebrow. And make a second one. Try and make them the same size. As I say, one big monobrow might be funny. And there we have it. A potato in pants. Now, if that's not exciting enough for you, you could always make some friends to go with them, so make a whole band of them if you wish. Perhaps you'll make a... Just put your haircut back on, mister. Perhaps you'll make a carrot in a cravat, or even a beetroot in a bra. Go wild with your vegetables. Accessorise and make your own little band of crazy vegetables. So hope you really enjoyed that, and please share your pictures of your crazy veg and share them on the hashtags. The hashtags are, I'll lie you down a minute. There. You can find that, and you can find me on jimparkyn.com as well.